So you get the place at least mucked out, if not cleaned up.
I'm just picturing shaping the water into like a hose and then just shaping the water to like spray the things down using the water pressure from
Gail, what's up?
Yeah, so as they're getting the place cleaned out, Spider Clan lasts for an hour. So I'm going to spend 11 minutes of that putting the alarm on, like, over the 10 feet in front of this little cave, because I can walk on the ceiling and stuff.
Viewers can't see it,
the area.
but I am putting a 10-foot circle on the map. At the moment, the viewers can only see your lovely faces. So, yeah, let's talk a little bit about what happens next. You've got yourself in a reasonably secure area. Right. Nothing is likely to bother you, and if it does, there's the alarm spell and the sickle to keep you safe.
And we'll set up the illusionary wall that will just look like a stone face, so that anyone who looks at it will just say, "Oh, that's a more stone wall."
Unless they know or want to touch it.
So what do we do next?
Rest.
I can identify that potion that you found, Lore.
A potion for you.
Start sitting down, take out my spell book, flipping through the leather pages, and start ritual casting Identify.
No
So here's
problem.
a question, Calder. Is your illusion, like, will light go through it?
It's an opaque illusion.
It is opaque. No, light will not go through it.
Okay, then I'm gonna set a fire.
That's fine.
Good call.
Just because, one, I know that when it comes to identifying potions, having an idea of like color and stuff is interesting. And while Charlotte might not be able to see colors, neither can we with dark vision.
Question.
So,
would they be able to see the smoke coming out from the hidden wall?
It would be any smoke that passed through the wall would be along the roof, but at that point they're looking up at the roof of a cave and looking for smoke. So
okay.
So
yeah,
I imagine they could smell it though.
well, it really depends on what we put in the fire, because some fires don't smell like anything.
Well, what do you have to put in the fire? I think what we have to put in the fire over here is a dead dwarf and a bunch of bat guano.
I mean, that's an option, but I mean, I'm not feeling that personally.
Yeah, how much bat guano is in here? Because we really shouldn't light a fire on that stuff.
it's not like processed. It's not going to be.
There is a reason that it is the material components for a fireball. Why do I know that? Because I do, and because I went to wizard school. I graduated from wizard school.
Very shocking, but yes.
Like,
So-
like,
I'm honestly
with
not-
a D average.
all right.
I'm honestly not even sure these things count for bats.
So, Charlotte, as you are, as everyone else is commentating on the taxonomy of these bat bugs, you are attempting to identify that potion, and you are able to. Is there a roll for that? I don't think there is.
Nope, I just spend the time.
Excellent.
Are we doing
it is a
long or
potion.
short
It is a
rest?
potion of water breathing.
Ooh. I say as much and hand it back to Lore.
And now, yes, Clarion has an excellent and pertinent question.
I mean,
I mean,
I'm fine one or the other.
I would really appreciate a long rest.
It's
I'm
been a
pretty tapped.
day.
It's been a hell of a day, y'all.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do spend at least a small portion of my time desecrating the holy symbol of Grumsh I got from the eye. But,
Excellent. How can you describe for me how you do this thing?
I will take one of my daggers and just dig the eye of Grumsh out of it. Slowly, painstakingly, not just stabbing it, but deliberately whittling away the wood around it so that the eye is hollowed through, and then throwing it into the fire.
This
I
is
love it.
super cool for an iPhone person to listen to.
Fuck Grumsh.
I am applying a long rest to all of you.
Yay.
And yeah, so you between the alarm spell and the illusion, you're able to get some sleep, and you're able to rest and refresh. and instantly heal all of those horrible, horrible burns you had.
It's starting to like peel, like a sunburn.
Yeah, Meepo goes through, looks for the next day like he's going through a molt, basically.
I will like help. Calder
Yeah.
probably has experienced this before with him, and will be like helping him.
He keeps like
peel away the scale, the burnt and destroyed scales.
Yeah, he keeps like he keeps like itching constantly as he's walking, at least for the next hour or so. So long rest. Talk to me about what you do, say, and how you interact during this long rest. You've got 8 hours together, and a whole lot of stuff just happened.
I was gonna say, are we doing watches?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because we have the 4 of us, Meepo, and, well, I guess no zombie now. So how do we want to divvy up the watches?
I think that you should spend your time to get your bat back.
Yes.
Yeah, but that only takes an hour.
Well, yeah, but I mean...
So I should be paired up on a watch so that I don't
Yeah.
have to pay attention for that hour. Yeah.
Calder doesn't mind taking whatever the first watch is because he still has his second level spell slots and so can do some pretty serious damage out that gate.
Hey.
So once someone feels rested enough to take the next watch, then he'll pass out.
Jeff, roll me a d20 in chat, please. Okay,
Nice.
because of the extraordinary precautions you all were taking, I only made it a 1 out of 20 chance that there was a random encounter. So over the course of the evening, yeah, you're able to make it. But do keep telling me about your watch rotation. But you will not be harassed this evening,
Excellent.
or morning, or day, or whatever the hell time it is up there.
Time doesn't exist in the dark.
So yeah, I mean, I'd probably want to get swoops back sooner rather than later. So I'd probably be on first watch with Calder.
No
How
problem.
clean is this water?
I mean, it's moving.
It's moving, so yeah, it's actually how do you test that? Are you just gonna
Just
drink
straight
a
up
big swig of
boil
it?
Part of shape water is I can clean it.
That's true. Never mind.
And then we boil it anyways.
Probably also a good plan. But yeah, you're able to get plenty of fresh water. So long as you don't try to bathe in the river, you should be fine.
That's not this character.
Meepo, by the way, gets visibly nervous whenever anyone gets within 5 feet of the water.
Oh.
He doesn't do anything about it. He doesn't say don't go there, but like if anyone's watching him, when someone gets within 5 feet of the river, he just kind of like tenses a bit.
We're definitely gonna have a conversation with Meepo about the fact that there is literally no way to get out of here except for going near the water.
Oh, he knows that. Yeah, he's
okay. Like we have
is
to
there-
clarify that.
I'm just sticking by Meepo. I literally
am.
am. I'm just sticking by Meepo and kind of quietly, like, just playing not my lute because it's kind of a moist area, but like my flute, just lightly for him, just
Jeff.
to keep him calm and just to let everybody kind of not like doing my full on. What I probably did was I probably took the same amount of I probably was up with Calder and playing my flute, and the idea is I would be doing Song of Rest, which gives you extra hit points back on a short rest. So the idea is that people were gaining, healing back a little quicker, and so Calder was stronger and everybody was stronger earlier in the night. So that's probably what Clarion's doing. He's not really up for talking right now.
Jeff, what were you about to say?
Calder would have sat near Charlotte for most of the watch and basically doing like without being asked to, like just doing all of the I'm the extra eyes and ears and like getting Charlotte stuff while Charlotte has no swoops.
So
once Swoops returns, he'll investigate this tiny cave that they're in.
Yeah, so as we're on watch, I did actually want to do a conversation here. As Charlotte is going through the motions of setting up the ritual to summon Swoops back, and everyone else is seemingly, starting in on their slate behind them, Charlotte would address Calder and say, "Is it always like this?"
You'll have to be a bit more specific than that.
Well, I mean, adventuring. Is adventuring always this crazy?
In my limited experience, yes, though not always this bloody.
I was gonna ask. I'm really glad Lore's here and, was between us and most of those orcs, but I don't know, I didn't imagine this is what it would be like to be out here, I thought there'd be more like puzzles to solve, or like ancient texts to decode, or like people to parlay with. I didn't,
You should have been with us when we went to the Sunless Citadel. That was much more like that's described. I imagine Hyacinth told you some details, but it's more like, from my limited experience, I grant, Sunless Citadel was more like you described. We made deals with the kobold chieftain. We spoke and eventually fought through a pile of goblins, and we solved puzzles and translated ancient texts. That all happened, but we also had to fight an absolute madman, and we also had to fight a bunch of goblins and a bunch of spiders, and now we're fighting through a bunch of orcs that are not terribly keen on talking to us. So this appears to be adventuring, but it's not always this visceral.
I guess I'm just nervous. This is kind of my one shot at this,
You're doing great.
Well, thank you.
I will. We'll wrap an armor on Charlotte. 9 out of 10 would adventure with again.
Oh.
And
then Swoops pops back into
boom,
existence.
there's Swoops again.
The bat is back.
My favorite.
Yeah, it's, hey, buddy. And he just kind of flitters around the space, getting reacquainted with where I've popped him back into this plane. Do you ever get tired of it, this adventuring thing?
I'm probably not the best person to ask on that one, because my home life is not exactly pleasant.
I mean,
you know who my father is. You know who my brothers are.
Certainly heard things.
I promise you that that's after my family has had its agents go through the story with a fine-tooth comb to find the flaws.
What's Clarion up to during this long rest?
Clarion,
After the Song of Rest.
after the Song of Rest, Clarion would probably be helping Meepo get out of his armor for a minute, or like bit by bit to help him take care of himself and stuff, and just kind of. Clarion's having trouble sleeping. Clarion is very tired. Clarion is very upset. Clarion is kind of just listening to as much as he can, obviously, because of the water, but kind of here's not really the conversation that Charlotte and Calder have, but the fact that they are kind of conversing. I don't get the gist. I just know that they're talking. Mostly I'm just, checking up on Meepo right now. Making sure that Meepo's going to heal right. And
Once Meepo's armor is off, it's a lot easier. And yes, it is the kind of armor that requires an assistant to get out of. And it's very painful. And yes, bits of his scaling come off with the armor, because that's what fire does when you have metal on. But like once he's out, and this is Meepo, right? You met him in a loincloth. He's not particularly modest. And you know, he feels a lot better after that, and after he gets out of the armor and manages to get some of the dead horrible scales off, and it looks bad at first. But after sort of scrubbing some of it off, he actually pulls a stone out of his pouch and starts scrubbing at some of the really dried scales, and manages to get himself somewhat in some semblance of order, and then collapses next to whatever fire you're able to get going, and just passes out. Lore, what mood are you in during this time?
So over the past period of time, Lore has like slowly been turning blue. And aside from the fact that I need to make a will save real quick. Sorry, I didn't do it earlier.
That's not a very good will save.
Still out. So she's not doing super great right now. I'll save again at the end of the long rest. So before, like, the sword's going to be out there the entire evening. But like slowly she starts like turning blue. And she's shifting to winter. Mm-hmm. But it is like she feels bad. Like Lore herself feels bad, and it'll hit harder after the sword is away. But like she's a little bit slower. She's a little bit more like, you know, we watched Meepo fall in the water. Somebody else is gonna fall in the water too. We're getting into like the pessimism side of Lore is starting to come out.
I hope you weren't expecting any of us to be happy right now, because we're not.
Let me think. Does Lore sleep with the sword out? Can Lore sleep with the sword out?
Lore doesn't sleep. Lore trances, right?
No, Lore does not trance.
Oh, right.
Lore needs to sleep.
Right.
It's not gonna be an easy sleep. Like the body needs to sleep, and so the body will sleep, but it's not gonna, like, she doesn't want to, but she will have to.
Does anybody else have?
If you want to apply penalties to me, like perception check or something, I'm fine with it.
No, I don't think that's going to be necessary. Though I will keep that in mind in the future. If I decide to assign exhaustion to folks, you'll be the first person I think of. So
especially with the swords out.
Yeah. Does anybody else? Oh, Jeff, what's up?
I did make a note that I wanted to search this small cave that we're in, because we established that there's a corpse on the ground. So I'm gonna check around it, make sure that like this is some hapless victim that got swarmed by sturges, no doubt. But I just want to like look around, see if there's anything interesting.
Nothing else in the area, unfortunately, although there is a pouch of 35 gold plus whatever we have currently for the toss a coin.
It was 4 things, and I already found those.
Yeah. But I didn't put them into the party sheet, so they didn't count.
We had 4 toss a coins.
So that's 40 gold and the 35. So I'm going to add 70 gold, taking this 130 GP and turning it into... Crap, I know this. I'm just going to say 205, I think is the right answer. But I'm a math teacher, so I don't actually know. Oh, we just got another one. Excellent.
Nathaniel
so 200
one in the back.
215 it is. Thank you, Nathaniel. Well done. Thank you very much. So yes, we are at I'll put 215 gold into the party sheet. We'll disperse that later.
The upside is that this is pretty lucrative in terms of employment.
It really is. What else would you like to do, if anything? I'm going to keep going back to you until you all say you have nothing left. What else would you like to do during the long rest?
I did want to ask, after having heard Clarion use a spell scroll to cast Knock last time, does anybody else have any spell scrolls that they don't want, and maybe I can transcribe into a spell book? You know, just putting it out there.
Am I
hypothetically?
Honestly, I might.
Am I remembering improperly? Was Clarion
Yeah,
the
it was-
one that used it?
Clarion
Yeah, because
had-
Clarion opened
Okay.
the door and got knocked down.
Yeah, that's how I died. Almost.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay. I
do-
mistakenly
My
said.
knock.
I
I still
mistakenly
have
said
my
in the
spider
recap.
climb, but
Yeah, I
I do
mistakenly
have-
said in the
I-
recap that Calder did it. So
That's true, but I do have a scroll of knock.
yes, we do have one more scroll of knock in party. So yeah.
I can pass it to Charlotte. I also have Melf's acid arrow.
I don't think that one would be useful to give to Charlotte because it requires to see the target.
But it's
Yeah.
still a spell. But it's still a scroll of a spell that I probably will not cast. So
That's fair. Let's see, how do we transfer that?
Yeah, you could cast it, but you're right. It's not really in your wheelhouse.
I mean, I can already like transmute an acid knife, and why would I cast that if I have acid knife?
Because acid knife is lame.
Sad winter.
I don't
Sees
know how to
everything
transfer
is
things to
lame.
the party inventory.
So the party
Everything is
inventory. Hold on. I'm gonna go ahead and disperse all of the gold really quick. And there's a potion of water breathing up there that someone should probably take and put in their inventory.
I vote Meepo.
I'm not gonna say no, but I am the DM, so I'm not gonna make that decision for you. If you want to give the water breathing potion to me,
there it
I'm
is.
not gonna
moved the
say no.
scroll- I moved the scroll of acid arrow into the party inventory,
Nice, and I see that you did that.
and I'll also do the same to the scroll of knock. So just grab them out.
Lionheart just pointed out that it censored out Melf's acid arrow because
Oh,
of
yes.
a terrible movie about an apple pie. The only
get
movie
it.
I ever walked out of in the theater was American Pie because it was
Double
awful
check.
in every way.
Yeah, the cost of materials, but if
Oh,
you know,
milk
gonna
acid arrow.
I'm gonna try to put Scroll of Knock into my book tonight. I'll double check the cost for that.
Oh right. Yeah, go for that.
Wizard.
That's hilarious.
Wizard, spend all your money on the good paper and the good ink. Who needs anything else but paper and ink? It's the good shit. That good shit.
So characters, Meepo.
And so, aside from that, Calder will split his time between making like he'll when he does eventually sleep, he'll sleep like right next to Meepo just to help soothe his favorite little lizard.
And to be clear, Meepo has never ever slept without being in physical contact with one of you while you're adventuring.
Yeah, and the time he's awake, he is awkwardly pseudo flirting with Charlotte. That's about it.
So and meanwhile, Charlotte's just like, okay, all right, I need that. And she, starts ritual casting. Like she brings out her unseen servant to read the scroll for her, to put it into the wax so she can feel it while she's beveling it into her spell book. And like, Charlotte's not paying attention to anything else.
Like as soon as
Calder's
that
like
starts-
attempting to flirt, and Charlotte's like, "I'm sorry, I'm being a nerd right now."
Just turn the two, do the third.
And like that's what that entire awkward conversation was. The moment she went into scroll mode, he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna pass out next to Meepo now. Bye."
So Olivia, what's the requirement? What's the cost?
So, it requires 50 gold worth of
The good ink and paper.
materials. Yeah, materials. My spellbook, we did the special. It's beveled leather instead of ink on paper so I can actually read it. So I was just gonna go straight gold cost, or like have
that's
it be
totally
an
fine.
additional like casting cost
Yeah, I mean we can.
or whatever.
Yeah.
You gotta put it in the braille. Poke,
Yep.
poke.
Well, it's dwarven. She bevels dwarven into her leather pages because she can read dwarven, and I kind of feel like that's why she learned dwarven first, is because they use carved runes for a lot of things, and that would be easier to read.
Yeah, but Mel's acid arrow is a second level spell, so it's definitely worth knowing.
It is, but it's too expensive for me right now, so I'm just transcribing knock.
Okay.
Which is a very useful spell to have when you don't have a lockpick in your party. So
Not one lockpick.
you wake up the next day. The alarm spell lasts 8 hours, if I'm not mistaken, so I'm going to go ahead and remove that pointer.
Yep.
You wake up reasonably refreshed, despite living or sleeping next to the world's largest dwarf corpse. What do you do when you wake up after you've all sort of refreshed, you've all sort of reset? What do you do?